Look at the unfair trade practices that we have. 50% from the European Union on American dairy. You have a 700% tariff from Japan on American rice. You have a 100% tariff from India on American agricultural products. You have nearly a 300% tariff from Canada on American butter and American cheese. This makes it virtually impossible for American products to be imported into these markets, and it has put a lot of Americans out of business and out of work over the past several decades. So it's time for reciprocity, and it's time for a president to take historic change to do what's right for the American people, and that's going to take.
Breaking news, President Donald Trump just stunned the nation with a historic Liberation Day speech, and what he revealed left jaws on the floor, guys. Not only did he expose just how unfair global trade has been to the United States, but he also unveiled a shocking list that's now making waves across the country. Meanwhile, several GOP lawmakers are being accused of betraying after siding with a foreign nation over the Trump administration. And in a tragic twist, we've just learned the real cause behind Hollywood legend Val Kilmer's death. Well, guys, there's a lot to break down today. So first, let's go ahead and start with the explosive list President Trump just revealed.
If you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charge anybody anything. But now we're going to charge. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually. They're coming in from Taiwan, and they're going to build one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that. But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan, very, very tough, great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there, right behind the Resolute desk or whichever desk they chose. Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46%, and much higher for certain items like cars, you know, little items like cars. 46%, we're charging them 24%.
This move is all about leveling the playing field on trade. Now, according to President Trump, the U.S. has been taken advantage of for far too long, and not just by rivals, but some of our oldest allies. These are the same countries we'd be expected to defend if ever they were attacked. Yet, they've been benefiting from the deeply unfair trade deals at our expense. The president explained that he first uncovered just how bad the situation was when he came into office the first time. In fact, he said the U.S. was charging many of these nations nothing at all until he was elected.
You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades. And it was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China charged them. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs. And they understood, honestly. President Xi understood. He said, look, I understand. And the other countries, and they all understand. We're going to have to go through a little tough love, maybe. But they all understand. They're ripping us off, and they understood it. Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. He was a fantastic man. He was unfortunately taken from us, assassination. But I went to him and I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. Trade is not fair. And he said, I know that. And he was a great gentleman. He was a fantastic man, but he understood immediately what I was talking about. I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. He said, I know that. And we worked out a deal, and it would have been a much better deal, but frankly, there were many years left on the deal that was made previous to my getting there.
Here's something interesting. President Trump is calling this Liberation Day because of what he expects it to achieve. If these tariffs succeed, there's a real possibility that income taxes could be eliminated entirely. So that means no more being a working class puppet funneling your hard-earned money into the IRS. Instead, you actually get to keep and enjoy what you've earned. Now, this is the optimistic vision behind Trump's plan. And sure, some might say it sounds too good to be true, but let's be honest, history has already proven him right before.
From 1789 to 1913, we were a tariff-backed nation, and the United States was proportionately the wealthiest it has ever been. So wealthy, in fact, that in the 1880s, they established a commission to decide what they were going to do with the vast sums of money they were collecting. We were collecting so much money so fast, we didn't know what to do with it. Isn't that a nice problem to have? What do you think, Marco? Good problem? Marco would love that problem. But we don't have that problem anymore, but we're not going to have it very much longer, I will tell you. But they collected so much money, they actually formed a commission to determine what they were going to do with the money, who they were going to give it to, and how much. Then in 1913, for reasons unknown to mankind, they established the income tax so that citizens, rather than foreign countries, would start paying the money necessary to run our government. Then in 1929, it all came to a very abrupt end with the Great Depression, and it would have never happened if they had stayed with the tariff policy. It would have been a much different story. They tried to bring back tariffs to save our country, but it was gone. It was gone. It was too late. Nothing could have been done. It took years and years to get out of that depression, far longer than even FDR had that office right over there for a long period of time. The ramp system, it's rather intricate, was built because of him, and every time you walk up, you think of him, and he did a great job in many ways, but it lasted long beyond his terms, as you know. But it's not too late any longer, and we're going to start being smart, and we're going to start being very wealthy again. We're going to be wealthy as a country because they've taken so much of our wealth away from us. We're not going to let that happen. We truly can be very wealthy. We can be so much wealthier than any country. It's not even believable.
And hey guys, I keep getting messages from you guys, comments saying, hey Ron, I keep missing your videos. I keep missing the breaking news. Can you please make sure I get notified? So I've taken care of you guys. All you got to do is hit the link in the description down below this video or in the pinned comment and join the breaking news newsletter. That's it. Totally free. Now, just imagine how life-changing that would be for the working class. No more income taxes hanging over our heads. And this isn't just wishful thinking. It's grounded in history, and it could become reality if President Trump gets his way. The problem? Well, some members of his own party are standing in the way.
The president's imposition of tariffs against Canada that will be a costly tax increase on American families. If the president has concerns about trade issues with Canada, guess what? This president negotiated a signature trade deal, the USMCA, that got 89 bipartisan votes in this chamber, and he has a negotiating process to find a resolution to any issue he cares about. The imposition of tariffs does nothing more than put a tax on American families.
This is a tax, plain and simple. Taxes should not be enacted by one person. So I will vote today to end the emergency. I will vote today to try to reclaim the power of taxation, the power of the tariff, to where the Constitution designated it should properly be, and that is in Congress.
The yeas are 51. The nays are 48. The joint resolution's passed.
The vote was about terminating President Trump's tariffs on Canada. And shockingly, 4 Republicans sided with Democrats: Rand Paul, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and, would you believe it, Mitch McConnell. Now, they're all out here crying about how these tariffs will hurt Americans. But where was that energy when Joe Biden was in office? They claim these tariffs will negatively impact everyday American citizens. But where were they when American jobs were being shipped overseas? When our manufacturing base was gutted and we became dependent on foreign foreign nations for essential goods. It's almost like they're completely against bringing jobs and businesses back to America. Now, let's shift gears and let's talk about Val Kilmer, a Hollywood legend who battled cancer for over a decade. Now, you might remember Val Kilmer and his powerful reunion with Tom Cruise in Top Gun Maverick. Oh my God. If you haven't seen that movie, you have got to check out Top Gun Maverick. We've watched that movie about 6 times already. Anyway, this is a moment that even brought Tom Cruise to tears, guys. In recent months, Val Kilmer seemed to be recovering well, which makes this news all that much more heartbreaking. His daughter, Mercedes Kilmer, confirmed that his passing wasn't due to cancer, but rather from pneumonia. He was 65 years old. It's genuinely sad to lose someone who poured his heart and soul into his craft, something that's become increasingly rare in today's movie industry. I want to give you guys even more information today. Make sure you check out a previous live stream that I did where I talked about Representative Jasmine Crockett. Now, I know you guys are as tired of her as I am, but this time there's some old footage of her that's coming out, footage that shows just how racist she can be. Now, you're going to be shocked when you watch that one. As always, thank you guys for hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you next time.